intelligence brings success, yeah. Understand yourself and others and love your pets, yeah.
Good citizens of the earth. Jeesh, I got to work on that. What up, my friends? Good to see you. Now, I feel like it's been a long time. Now, I say this every episode, but this time it has been a few weeks, and I don't know what happened. Other than I've been working hard, y'all. I've been working hard, and I still hadn't found the easy button, but I'm still searching. So I'm gonna keep working. How is everybody doing? So look, my name is Adrian Archie, if you hadn't seen the show before, and this is the Emotional Pet Guy podcast. We talk about a number of different things on here, but really it all comes back to mindset and emotional intelligence and how you use the two, because they're actually not the same thing. Mindset is really separate than how you harness your emotions. I've learned to put both together, and I've dived into the study of both to become an emotional intelligence coach so I can help others do it. But this is what we do on this show. We want you to be able to live a practical life that emotion doesn't stop you. And at the end of the day, when you think about it, emotion really drives everything we do. It drives career choices. It drives family choices. It drives what you eat, because you don't like the way something tasted last time, or you have a taste for something. These are all emotional decisions. It drives your life. So the more we harness that, the better we can get towards going towards our purpose on a regular basis and not always searching for what's next, right? A foundation. So today we're going to talk about something that I find that's a pillar, a foundation of my life. And I don't say that lightly. I'm a pretty consistent person. If you meet me, you may not be able to pin me down on who I am and what I like to do, and because I like to be what I call a Renaissance man. I'm serious. But anyway, look, the point of today is a growth mindset. And a growth mindset, people go a lot of different ways with this, but it's actually research behind this that goes pretty deep. And we'll talk about the researcher here in a second, Miss Carol Dweck. But first, let's go into what a growth mindset is. Number one is self-discovery. And I think that's the number one thing that we must understand as we dive into this, my good people. I'm glad you guys are tuning in and you're growing with me. Share the podcast with your friends, with your family. Maybe we can help some people and grow together. Hit share right now. All right, I'm in a silly mood today, but we're going to get serious. So what is the growth mindset based on? Number one, in my opinion, and I'm going to go with an opinion, and I'll go back to research and opinion and then some anecdotal stuff, some stories. But number one is motivation. A growth mindset is based on motivation. How do you get out the bed when it doesn't feel good? Because let's be honest, the sun comes up every day, even if you can't see it. That means it's just clouds in the sky and it may be on you in a different part of the world. But the sun comes up every day. How do you have a mindset that comes up with the sun every day? That you consistently are showing up in a way that you're moving forward. Not perfectly, but moving forward every day. How do you do it? A growth mindset is how you do it. So number one is motivation. Number two is resilience. And number three, it's a clear and improved sense of self. We sometimes, especially in the culture we have today, you always hear that people are selfish, or children are selfish, or we're only stuck on our phone, so we don't have a relationship. Selfish, excuse me, is not the same as self. You should have a healthy sense of self. You should love yourself. You should understand who you are and be aware of yourself so that you fit into your surroundings correctly. Selfish is something different, that you're putting yourself in front of other people and things and the responsibilities and it's totally different. So a sense of self is something that we absolutely must develop, and we must help our kids develop it as soon as possible. The sooner you know yourself, the quicker you're on a trajectory to where you should be going, right? Most people that don't know themselves, that don't love themselves, you find yourselves in a situation of depression or even worse, right? So those are the three: motivation, resilience, and a clear, improved sense of self. I call it a fear of judgment versus embracing learning. So it's a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. Boom, that's what we're starting at today. Growth mindset versus fixed mindset. And what I find is when you ask people that question, do you have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? Most people are going to say growth. but it's not true. And I don't say that in a way to ridicule anybody or make anybody feel bad about themselves. Most people just don't have a growth mindset. And it's not because they don't want to have one. Most people don't know what a growth mindset really is. Right. So that's what we want to level set today: fix versus growth. I say a fixed mindset is a fear of judgment. And a growth mindset, in my words, is embrace of learning. You don't mind learning. It's a clip of Kobe Bryant that I all every time I've seen it on Instagram because it circulates once it hits your timeline and the algorithm of what you like to see. And it's a clip of him talking to Jamil Hill, and she asked him, "What type of athlete are you? Are you an athlete that likes to win? Are you an athlete that excuse me? Are you an athlete that loves winning? Or are you an athlete that hates losing?" And Kobe, without a doubt, said, "I'm neither one," didn't think about it. And I agree with him. Now, when he said I'm neither one, I didn't know where he was going with it. But then as he went into it, I absolutely agree with every word he said. And I'm not comparing myself to Kobe Bryant. The man's a genius on the basketball court as an athlete and a genius in life. Obviously died too early. He had bigger things going on coming when he died with his daughter on that helicopter and the other parents and his team members that he even accomplished on the court. The man was a genius. So I'm not comparing myself to him. I'm saying I agree with this, what he says here. And he says that he's in the middle. He's neither one. He doesn't want to always be worried about losing, because then what happens is you never actually ever show up to win. You defeat yourself. And he doesn't want to always win. And I say this all the time. You don't always want to be stuck on winning, because that's a high that you can't replicate very often at all. You don't win all the time. You don't win often. You win enough that it feels good, and competition doesn't happen often enough that you need to win every day anyway. But if you're always looking for winning, then you're gonna fall into a ditch because you can't replace that all the time. So that's what Kobe was saying. And what you'll find is a fear of judgment is a fixed mindset, but a embrace of learning is exactly what he said. Is that, whether win or lose, he's always learning, and that's the focus. That's the focus. So let's go further into this as we transform how we think, so that we can show up in the purpose that's intended for us, that God intended for us. Let's connect the dots on adopting a growth mindset and the science behind it, and how we can fit it into emotional intelligence. Because again, in my opinion, a healthy mindset, a growth mindset, there's different types of mindsets, but a growth mindset, in my opinion, is the most important to adults, in my opinion, as well as adolescents. Um, but how do you fit it into life? How you emotionally show up every day, right? So let's go back through that. We're going to go into the understanding of growth versus fixed. We're going to talk about the science behind a growth mindset, and then we're going to talk about very shortly some strategies that you can apply them to your day-to-day life, so you can start to live with the growth mindset on a regular basis. I don't know anything. I don't know anything else. I literally don't allow myself to have negative thoughts more than just a few minutes. If most, I redirect, and that's because of a growth mindset that has literally become a lifestyle. So it's capable. And we're going to talk about, can you change who you are, who you were born, as far as your personality and how you think? I say you can. Research says you can. You'll have people that say you can't. You absolutely can. So let's look at this. How am I doing on time? I think I'm going to speed up. So first, let's talk about the researchers that found growth mindset briefly, because I think it's important that I just don't talk on this podcast. And I give you guys some nuggets, some footnotes that you can actually go and hang on to and see that what I'm talking about is not just my anecdotal opinion. It's something that is real. Is numbers and research behind it. So you have a lady named Carol Dweck, Dr. Dweck. And she's a renowned psychologist, and she pioneered the growth mindset. She wrote books about it. I mean, there's numerous articles and other peer-reviewed things that she's done on growth mindset. She's the preeminent expert. Her work has shown that our beliefs and abilities can significantly impact our achievements and personal growth. Our beliefs can impact our achievement and personal growth. Our beliefs can impact our achievement and personal growth. You have to embrace the power of a growth mindset for a more fulfilling life. That's what she's found in her research, and she's continuing to do it. So let's first grow into this and step into it, and let's the growth and fix. What's the difference? Good citizens, you paying attention? Let's check in. You guys got questions? Put them in the comments, because obviously this isn't live. Put these in the comments, and let's engage each other here and grow. That's the point of this podcast. Of course, I want people to listen and tune in and to grow my followers, but I want you guys to grow too, because I'm going to grow. My family's going to grow. My circle, we're going to grow. That's what it's about with us. I demand it. The people around me demand it of me. I demand it of you guys, good citizens of the earth, that you're going to grow too. So let's grow into growth and fix. What's the difference? So it's about what your capacity, what you believe you can do. A fix versus a growth mindset. What do you believe you can do? Is it innate and unchangeable, which is a fixed mindset? There's nothing I can do about it. Or is it something you can change? And I'm going to read this just so we all get this. People believe that the most basic abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. This is a growth mindset. Brains and talent are just the starting point. This view, growth mindset, creates a love of learning and resilience that is essential for great accomplishment. And the key thing in there is a love of learning. Now, I said this before I even knew what emotional intelligence was and growth mindset was. And now, as an adult, always people say, would you go back to being in high school? Absolutely. Because the things I know now in high school, wow, I've been a millionaire in high school. But, and I'm not even a millionaire now. So that tells you, I wish I would have known what I knew now. But basically learning, a love of learning. I've always said this. I'm curious. Be curious on what's going on around you. Stop worrying about on what's going on in your day to day so much that you miss the fly buzzing by, or the bird, or the iguana, or the light, or the sound, or the smell. We miss so many things that could key us into what's going on around us. That would give us more faith of what's going on around us is working for our good. We want all these signs, but we never pay attention. The signs are there. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Learning requires you to be tuned in and have your antenna up. That's why bugs, ants have antenna, not so they can put them up and see what's going. They literally do that because they need to know what's going on around them, because they're small creatures, and it's always a threat. And they need to be able to smell and see where they're going. We have antenna. We have them. We have senses: eyes, ears, smell, touch. You even have the energy that we give off as humans. You giving off enough electricity to light up a light bulb. Literally, that's not me saying that. Science has proven that. We have senses that we never use, that we never tune into. Learning is important. You control you. So a growth mindset, in my opinion, is about action, connection with other people, and strategy. Now, there's obviously three key things in there. It's research on this that I want you guys to go look at. One is by Mrs. Carol Dweck. It was in 2006. It's called The New Psychology of Success. There's a book she wrote. And it's another, The Mindset That Promote Resilience. And this is about educating students. But what they found here in this particular one, in this research, is that it's a way to have a growth mindset, and it's not alone. One of the biggest things, and I was a sales rep in medical devices for years. And I came from team environments my whole life, but then I end up in medical devices, and I have this territory. This, like, I have a quota to hit, and my manager's somewhere else, and the sales reps everywhere else. And really, our connection is we have a regional meeting once or twice a year, a sales meeting, and then you're on the phone with people, emailing back and forth, and you kind of become an island. And I had a growth mindset then, but I found myself getting depressed really easy, getting bogged down really easy, not wanting to get out of the bed, and my manager not even knowing if I got out of bed or not, depending on what my numbers looked like. It didn't matter, right? It wasn't a growth mindset like I thought, because I had nobody else. I was an island. A major part of growth mindset is, number one, effort, getting out of the bed. But that's part of the mindset that helps you do that. Strategy is another. You have to think through things. You have to think forward through things. You have to think past the moment. You have to live in the moment and address the moment, but it always has to be a northern star, your trajectory, a horizon you're going towards. But the one thing you can't control in that, you can do the strategy and you can do the effort, but the other people, the connecting with other people and things, you can't. And I always connect nature, not because I'm fundamentalist, or anything, a new age or neo, anything. I believe in God and Jesus Christ, but I also understand science because I fundamentally am a scientist, and I think that way and I understand it. The bee and the bird, excuse me, the bee and the flower is a connection there. One dies, everybody kind of dies. We're all made out of the same elements. I say this all the time. If those things on that fundamental level are connected and need each other, and we actually need, then how don't we need each other? Right? Connection is a huge part. Strategy, pushing somebody else, believing in you and saying it and saying good job and asking you, are you on time and where have you been and great job and what are you doing is important to a growth mindset. And one of the reasons most people have a hard time developing a growth mindset or even believe that one doesn't exist, that person is always negative and is almost like they want to be, is because they in most cases either don't listen to the people around them that have a growth mindset or don't have anybody around them that has a growth mindset. And it's absolutely impossible, in my opinion, to maintain consistently a growth mindset without other people. Other people are part of a growth mindset. A growth mindset is based on learning, and we're going to move on to the next point. And a fixed mindset is based on I don't have to learn. I don't need to learn. I don't want to learn. A growth mindset is a person that may not even show up with notes or be prepared because they're okay with messing up because they're going to address the mistake as learning and do it different. A fixed mindset person may show up over prepared and still fail, but not be able to handle the failure and quit in the moment because they're fixed and there's nothing they can do about it, right? It is reasons why. And we must start to understand how our brains work. So let's move on to the next point is the science behind it. We need to go a little deeper in growth and fix, and you do that on your own time, and we'll talk about it more. But let's talk about the science. Is it real? Number one, can your beliefs and abilities influence your behavior, achievement, and your overall well-being? Yes, you can. It can. It absolutely can. And one of the studies that we looked at here, and there's a couple footnotes that I'll go through so you guys can reference them if you want. And this is also by Mrs. Dweck in 2016, a little more recent. The Perils and Promises of Praise. Now, that's a little. If you listen to that title, I mean, that'll surprise you. The perils and promises of praise, of telling somebody good job or I love you or all of those things that are affirming somebody, the perils of it. It's going to be interesting, right? Another here that you can reference is implicit theories of intelligence that predict achievement. And it's talking about the same thing in there. How do you motivate other people? So now we're going into other people and the connection. And what they found in this particular part of it and the science behind it is what about the language we use encouraging other people, particularly our kids, our team members, our coworkers, people you manage, people you lead. What they found is the wrong kind of praise can actually create self-defeating behavior. And the right kind of praise can motivate students to learn, can motivate people to be more engaged, can motivate them to a growth mindset. Praise. So it shows you that this is something that the brain actually can react to differently in the way that you do it. You have to understand that number one, you need other people to grow. But not only do you need other people to grow, you need to find other people to help grow. Right? Come out of yourself, come out of the selfishness. The connection is not only what you can get. I try to find people I can connect it to that I can offer something to. And it's hard to do that because most people, especially if they're close to you, don't receive as well from you. I often find myself saying things that people may not receive, and then somebody that has more charisma or that does it on a regular basis, or somebody that they respect, that they go search for, they'll hear the same thing, and suddenly it's like an epiphany, and I'm sitting there like I said the same thing 2 weeks ago. But that's life, right? So what people say and how you say it can absolutely push somebody into their destiny or trip them up. So let's go further into this. The results were clear. Praising intelligence made students avoid challenge. Listen to this. Praising intelligence made students avoid challenge. In the face of difficulty, it made them lose any pleasure in a task they had originally enjoyed. They lost faith in themselves and the performance plummeted. Finally, it made them lie. Now, we won't go into the study itself to talk about lying and all that. I think what we need to pull out of this in the 30 minutes we have together is that that praise them actually set them back. It killed their motivation, and ultimately they didn't want to do something anymore that they originally enjoyed. Now, what happened? It wasn't the praise itself, it was how the praise was done. It was the wording, it was the setup of it. It was how the person praising did it. So this is important. As people or as you seek praise, as you seek affirmation, you need to be able to discern what you're hearing so that you respond to it correctly and perform and correct yourself in a way. And also, as you give praise to your children or to people you that work for you or you manage or that you work with, it's important. Listen to this. Rather than a rather than a great job accomplishing the goals, rather than saying a great job accomplishing the goal, or saying that I'm proud of you, excuse me, saying rather than saying great job at accomplishing the goal, instead say I'm so proud of you. You didn't believe in yourself at first. You worked hard, networked, got experience from your mistakes, and you landed your dream job. And that's just an example. So listen to this. Instead of just saying just very vaguely, I'm so the great job accomplishing the goal. Oh my God, just so great. How did you do it? So what that did is set them up. So great job that they accomplished something, but then it really connected them to nothing in the future. They just accomplished it. Now what? Now they feel like, okay, now I got to go accomplish something else to get the praise that I just got because that's what I'm relishing. It becomes overwhelming when it's always the next thing. Instead, say, I am so proud of you, and then expound on it. You didn't believe in yourself at first. Go through the story of what happened. If you know them and you know it, because nothing happens overnight, right? I'm so proud of you. You didn't believe in yourself at first. You worked hard. Instead of quitting, you network with other people, you connected. You got experience from your mistakes. You were resilient and you landed your dream job. Now, maybe something else, but that's just an example of how you talk about the motivation that they used. You then talked about the hard work, which is motivation. You then talked about how they network with other people, how they didn't let the mistakes kill them. They were resilient and they got what they wanted. So now they're not connected to just being praised for accomplishing something. They're connected to the work and the journey that got them there. So now what do they want to keep doing? The next journey, the next piece of work, the next how do I put two and two together to get to three? Not three. It's amazing what that does. Imagine how you can motivate people better simply by doing it different. How you can motivate yourself better simply by thinking about it different. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. That's amazing. Think about that. Don't just vaguely praise them because it connects them to a moment that may not be achievable, maybe never again, or at least long enough or quick enough or frequent enough that they're going to be satisfied with it. So it pushes them back into depression because they don't think they can ever achieve it again. So now they actually go backwards. Does that make sense? You go backwards because of how you're thinking about what you just accomplished. Instead, praise them, but praise them in a way that says, yes, I'm proud, you did job, good job. But here's how you got there. Here's the journey that you went through. This is what you should focus on. The reward is the work, not the win. Two and two is the work, not four. Two and two is the reward, not four. Does that make sense? This is good. So let's go on to the third step because we got about 5 minutes or so left with each other, and I'm not going to go too fast. Now I want to give you some strategies to live this in your life. So now we're going from growth mindset to emotional intelligence. How do you live with your emotions in a way that allows you to succeed? Let's take these growth mindset strategies and apply them to day-to-day life. What can you do to live or transform your mind into a growth mindset? Because you absolutely can change the way you think and your personality if you focus on it. What we want to do is increase our emotional awareness, our empathy, and have better relationships. So this is how you transform it. Number one, intelligence can absolutely be developed. A fixed mindset may say that it's static, but it's not. A fixed mindset is a liar. A fixed mindset is for people that don't want to grow. A fixed mindset is for people that may not have ever had an example of a healthy growth. Fixed mindset is for people that think growth should be easy, and when it's not, they should quit. But intelligence can absolutely be learned. things can be changed is number one. You have to believe that. That's the first step. It's nothing you have to do other than to believe that fact. Number two, embrace challenges. I've heard somebody say, I've actually heard this a few times as of late, as the economy seems to be teetering and things being haywire in politics. And somebody says that, all these challenges, it must be something, it can't be God, or this can't be right or something. And I challenge you to delete that from your memory and from your brain. Challenges are not a sign that you have been forsaken. As a matter of fact, what athlete, football player doesn't lift weights in order to become better? No, you're going to get hurt on the field because everybody else is lifting weights. Everybody else is maturing. Everybody else is in shape. So if you think you don't have to lift weights in order to be good, you're going to find out real quick. That's the wrong way. Challenges, if you have a growth mindset, is about the learning. It's not about the challenge. It's not about the pain. It's not about the failure. It's not even about overcoming the win and getting to the other side of the challenge. It's about what you learn through that challenges. Embrace challenges. And then your mindset starts to get to a place where you believe you can get to the next challenge and overcome it because you did it to the one before. Embrace them. Don't run from challenges if you do nothing else. Persist in the face of setbacks. Be resilient. There's been times that I've had some failures. Recently, when you try the glory to glory, faith to faith, as you're going up in things and purpose, it's always the next thing, right? And I have challenges every day, but I told my wife the other day is that she asked me how I feel, and I said, what I've learned in this season is I don't even have to feel good anymore. I don't even have to feel good anymore. It's what I've learned, and I can still win. I know that. That's what I've taken. One of the things I've taken from this season is so I'll get up, and when it feels the worst, just because I just want to see what's going to happen, because I know now. Embrace challenges and get up on every single setback, even if it doesn't get better. See effort as a path to mastery. 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 Doesn't need to be said anymore. I don't even have to expound on that. Put some effort into it if you want to master what you want to do and see your purpose come true. Learn from criticism. Now, that's simple for an athlete. I played football for 17, almost 18 years of my life. Criticism was a daily part of what I did. The eye in the sky don't lie is what we used to say, literally. The eye in the sky don't lie. What that means is it's always a camera on in football, in college and in pro. High school these days, too. There's 5 or 6 cameras watching you from every angle. It don't lie. So you can say, Coach, I didn't do that, but you can go watch the film and you go see who was wrong or right. Right? So criticism is something that I became used to, and I actually need it. Sometimes I find myself like, tell me the truth. And they're like, no, it was great. No, I know I can be, don't let me tell me something, right? And because I need to know what can I tweak a little bit better. It can't be perfect, and I don't even want perfection. It's amazing. Seek criticism. And if nobody's giving it to you, then you film yourself and criticize yourself. You can't win or learn without somebody or something telling you how you got there and how you can get further. Seek it. Got 2 more. Find inspiration in the success of others. I'm going to whisper that. Find inspiration in the success of others. And then I'm going to say it loud. Find inspiration in the success of others. You know what? That should be number 1. That should be the only thing on there. That should be the only thing on my notes. Find inspiration in the success of others. I'm a man that cries. Now, I've been in touch with my emotions for years. And if I feel the need to cry, I cry. In front of you, in front of God, I cry. A lot of my cries are happy cries. But I also find myself that, especially as you try to accomplish bigger and bigger things, you find yourself feeling down on yourself a lot. And I find myself a lot of times in early in the morning crying about something I saw on my timeline as I scroll through social media walking the dog. Or late at night as I'm scrolling and I see something on YouTube, the inspirational story, Coco Gauff, seeing her success and her parents and that emotion come out. I cry because of that. And why do I do that? Because it makes me feel better. I like to see other people win. I like to see other people do well. And what I find is that it pulls me out of my period of not feeling like I can do it when I see somebody that looks like me and came from where I came from and thinks like me and talks like me and gone through some of the same challenges as me having success, then I can too. Come outside of yourself, my friends. I love you, but you must. Find inspiration in the success of others. And once you are able to do that, you have cracked the code and now you have found freedom, because it's never a need to be unhappy because somebody around you is succeeding and you can be happy for them. It's real. I'm going to keep saying it. Find inspiration in the success of others. Find inspiration in the success of others. Find inspiration in the success of others. Whether you know them or not, it's real. It's therapy. And the last one, and then I'll wrap this show up. You guys have been great. Hope you're getting something from this. Is active living. That's what I call it. Researchers probably call it something different. They call it active living. Other coaches may have another word for it. Active living, active listening, active hearing, active smelling, active touching, active experience, active asking, active ribbing people, active joking, active being active. See everything that goes on around you. I often joke that a mass shooter may kill me, but he didn't sneak up on me. And I'm serious. And I mean that with all of my life. I am the one that's going to see it or hear it or I noticed it or I discern something to somebody. So when it happened later, I said, I told you. I'm always going to be debating because I have a theory on it. And I hear things from God and I say it. And it may hurt people's feelings. It may sound weird. It may not be charismatic enough, but it's active. Your antenna should be up. And I saw somebody speaking to a famous pastor on the show the other day, and this was a famous designer, and that's one of the things he said is that he finds inspiration in everything. Everything. I talk about the trees and the bees and the fire, and literally I find inspiration in everything. And that's not because I'm some genius. I just found that paying attention to it, you get millions of stimuli from every direction, lights and sounds and air and smells and touching and feeling every single second. Your brain can't even compute all of it. But as much as you possibly can, get all of it. Start to pay attention more. If you don't pay attention well, if you're kind of focused really, then start to get better at it. Start to pay attention more. Speak to people. Look at people as they go by and speak to everybody and see people and start to pay attention to what's going on around you. And you'll find that you'll start to believe that you are capable of doing things because the world is now connected to you and you don't feel alone. That's it, my friends. That's it. So let's go back through it real quick. And we can come back to this. Put some comments. Let's discuss it. We can go offline and discuss this. I'm a coach. We can talk about this offline. Number 1, the difference between growth and fixed mindset. Number 2, the science behind it. And number 3, how do you fit it into your life and emotional intelligence? Real quick, we'll go back through those. Intelligence can be developed. You can change. Embrace challenges. Persist in the face of setbacks. Get up. Be resilient. See effort as a path to mastery. You want purpose? You want to know what it is? Put some effort into it. Learn from criticism. Seek it. Find inspiration in other people's success. Stop being selfish with yourself and you'll stop being depressed about your lack of getting to where you want to be because nobody else can pull you there because you hate seeing them get there. And then active live. Pay attention. Look up from your feet and see the light. This is awesome, my friends. This is awesome. So as we close this episode, embrace the growth mindset. And you can not only transform your own life, but I promise you can transform others around you. Don't praise them vaguely. Praise them because you're truly proud of them. And then notice how they got there and repeat it back to them so they understand what the reward is. And it's not 4, it's the 2 plus 2. I love you, my friends. Good citizens of the earth. We out of here. Growth mindset. Peace. Love you.
About life now. Turn on the lights now. The Emotional Pet Guy Podcast, yeah. Talking about life now. Turn on the lights now.